Oh yeah! Welcome to Geek Banter, episode 10 plus 1. I'm your host, David the Evil Kilt Baldwin.
And I'm Mark the Lark Selby.
Come geek out with us, brother. This episode, we're reviewing a comic that's best described as WWE with superpowers. Super Fighting Championship #1 by Evolution Publishing. It's a romp of a book packed with 3 stories, and you should definitely support these guys, unless you hate fun. Then, Joss Whedon kills off Batgirl or someone else she loves, magical friendship comes to the big screen, and Marvel's VP screws the pooch in a very exciting Weekly Geek. If you dig the show, subscribe on YouTube and VidMe. That's at vid.me/geekbanter to keep up with what's geek this week. We also on Facebook. We on Facebook at Geek Banter and on Twitter at Geek_Banter.
We always flub it up. Like, I even flubbed it up this time.
Bitches. It's hard, man.
It is hard.
No, it's not. We're professionals.
Yeah, professional fucking losers.
Yeah, with that attitude.
Yeah, well, I mean, come on.
So, SFC #1, Super Fighting Championship. This was a really good, really fun book with 3 stories in it. Like I said, it's published by Evolution Publishing. Let me just do a rundown of the story titles and the authors. We'll get into it. Okay. So, the first story is the main chunk, the SFC #1. That's kind of everybody is involved, it looks like. The story is by Marcel Dupree, John Grizz, Julian Coleman, and Guido Martinez. The art is by Lucas Perdomo. Colors by Marco Pagnotta. Letters by Grant Fuller. I think I'll just do the writers and authors. But then there's Titanium #1. All right. Fine. Then in SFC #1, let's see, who did I miss? Script by Julian Coleman and Guido Martinez. Cover by, this is important. Cover by Jewel Cotillard and Marco Pagnotta. Then Titanium #1, which is one of it's kind of a side story. The story is by Marcel Dupree and John Grizz. Art by Maury. Colors by Marco Pagnotta. Letters and logo design by Brant Fowler. And then there's SFC Secret Files, Mind Mechanics. Story by John Grizz. Art by Vittorio Garofoli of Graphimated Cartoon. Colors by Marco Pagnotta. Letters and logo design by Brant Fowler. So there you go. So, what did you think of... let's start with the first chunk here, SFC #1. What are your thoughts? Did you like it? Give your...
Okay, so SFC #1, I kind of liked it, actually. Yeah, like, I haven't really picked up a comic in a long time, so when you're like, hey, read this comic, we have to review it, I was like, fine. But I actually really enjoyed it. Like, you kind of told me that it was like superpower wrestling, and I was like, yeah, I could that sounds like something I could, really dig. Yeah. And it really was something I could really dig. It reminded me of like 90s wrestling. Like, the announcers are hilarious, over the top. Yeah. The characters are hilarious, and their names are fantastic for their wrestling. Their wrestling names are fantastic. Well thought out.
Yeah, like some of the main players, Boss Donna, who's she produces saliva that can paralyze opponents, and she has kind of taken on this other character under her wing, Kasai, and she sort of Naruto-esque, looking like in her character design. And her character, she's interesting because she looks like she she's Japanese, and she just came to the U.S., and she's having a hard time switching between Japanese and English, it looks like.
Yeah.
And, but she has interesting powers. She has fire manipulation and fire summoning, so...
It very much reminds me of the time in the 90s.
Yoga Flame.
Well, even like late 80s, early 90s, when they started getting more like European and Mexican wrestlers into the WWF and WCW. And like it has that aspect there.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see who else. The characters that are really important because these characters actually star in the side story, the Mind Matters, Psionica, and the Manipulator. The Manipulator is kind of a heel. Looks like he's like a bad boy wrestler who's a very powerful telepath. And then Psionica is also a telepath, but she does kind of a Psylocke type thing. She uses like psychic blades and stuff. So SFC number 1, it's about them wrestling in the championship, and the commentators remind me of Extreme Elimination Challenge.
Oh yeah,
remember? Yeah. Just the typical quipping guys, but I don't want to spoil anything too much here. But something big happens in one of the fights, and a couple of the wrestlers are actually seriously injured. So that's kind of a big drama point there, and that's the reason I bring that up is I was kind of worried going into this comic that it might be difficult for them to focus on this wrestling thing. They're going to have some kind of villain, I feel like, that actually is a villain and not just a character in the wrestling.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe that's my thought, but I feel like the Manipulator is going to turn into that.
I was going to say I feel like that's slowly being established.
Right.
Already, yeah.
Yeah, because that causes some shake-up in the organization itself.
Yeah.
One character that I really like is Dynamo.
Well, he's retiring, you're not allowed to like him anymore. He's going to be gone.
Oh, I can still like him. I can like who I want, Mark. But he's just like an old, grizzled, like I'm too old for this shit kind of guy. And he looks a lot like Soldier 76 in my mind.
Yeah, he does. He does.
Yeah. And speaking of which, it had, I don't know about you, but going from SFC 1, that story, to Mind Matters, the spinoff, which is about Psionica and Manipulator, it gave me kind of an Overwatch-y feel.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Like, the main story is about them fighting each other in this tournament and everything, but there are side stories about them, actually facing off against each other in real situations.
Yeah.
Why don't you explain what happens in Mind Matters real quick?
Basically, I'm not exactly sure what he was doing there, but he was like he was was it the Manipulator?
Yeah.
He shows up to steal some shit off some computers, some classified shit, and they didn't know that one of the security ladies is also a telepath. So she realizes that the cameras are down, and goes to find what the fuck's going on, and they have a fucking telepath battle, and she's all super excited. She's like, "I'd never get to use my powers." That was hilarious. I don't even care that you're an evildoer. We're just gonna fucking do this now because we can.
Finally, yeah. I really like the art when they go into a mind battle against each other. That was a really, really solid artwork there. It was a nice splash page.
Yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of which, the actual, nuts and bolts of this comic, the artwork is really really good. It's the action is all really solid, and it flows well. It's not confusing at all. One thing I would like to know is what protects the audience.
I don't think there is anything that protects the audience. I really don't, dude.
So they're just like, fuck!
Yeah, dude, I'm pretty
Because they're doing crazy stuff like throwing fire at each other and like ripping up the...
Yeah.
Like Dynamo rips up the stage and throws it at someone and...
Big stun of spits on that camera.
Yeah, exactly. But I did think that they pulled off a good balance of showing enough action to keep you entertained.
Yes.
And engaged in the actual wrestling tournament.
Yeah.
And building the storyline as well in a small package, because they had to have 3.
Yeah. They put 3 stories into it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to talk about the third one? Was it Titanium?
Yes, Titanium. Yeah, that one was kind of a curveball.
Yeah, it looked real. Like, I liked the art in it. It looked really cool.
Yeah, it kind of...
lots of smashing.
I have it open right now. I'm scrolling down to it. But it's about a sci-fi thing, and they sort of look like space elves, or
yeah.
I don't know. They have pointy ears, and some of them are blue and stuff.
Yeah.
But it looked really neat. And at first, I was like, "Is this related to the wrestling stuff?" I thought, well, that'd be really cool. And then I realized, no, it's not. But it looks like there's some rebel faction, basically, and they find something they need, some computer chip or something, to find some kid, and they find him, and it ends there. So we'll see where it goes from there.
Yeah.
But they successfully got my attention and invested me in 2 completely separate stories in the same book, which is no small feat, honestly, for a independent.
Yeah, for
publisher.
sure.
This is a really solid team of writers and artists here. I really dig this. I want more. I don't really have anything negative to say here, honestly. One thing that did bug me, this is just me nitpicking, okay? The title page where they show the title of each story, it's out of order. It says it's SFC 1, and then Titanium 1, and then Mind Matters 1. And then the stories go, SFC Mind Matters before Titanium 1. But that's just me. And if that's all I can really say negatively about this,
yeah.
Yeah. So, how can you read this? How can you support them? They have a Kickstarter page. You can go to Kickstarter.com and look up SFC 1 Extended Print Run, or just SFC number 1. And we'll have the link in the show notes as well. It's only got 14 days to go as of this recording, and they've met their pledge. They're at 1,300 out of 875 goals. So this is happening, which is great.
Nice.
Yeah, but go there, support them. This is a great story, and I want to see more. Yeah. So Mark and I decided we were going to start doing our own scales for reviewing things, our own symbols for reviewing things, I should say, without telling the other person.
Yep.
So I am going to give this a 4.5 yellow kabuki masks out of 5.
Okay. All right. I'm going to give this a 4.7.
Ooh.
Body slams out of 5.
Nice.
You gotta keep it themed, man.
There's a kabuki mask in this.
That's more mask, right? Themed than that.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a kabuki mask. Yeah.
All right, so So yeah, check that out. That is Super Fighting Championship. Long may it reign. Anyway, so let's move on to the Weekly Geek.
Real quick,
what?
David. You're all nitpicking the shit out of this, or you're nitpicking that a little bit about the order, but like the order, how we talked about the Weekly Geek in the intros is all messed up to how you have it here on the notes.
It is?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
You said... Hold on.
Oh, it is, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, he talked about Joss Whedon, and then Magical Friendship, and then Marvel's VP. Basically. It's all messed up.
Well, slap me pink and call me Shirley. I done fucked up. Anyway, let's move on to the Weekly Geek, where we geek out about headlines across the worlds of geekdom. First up, let's see, what is first up? Because it has out of order in my notes here. So first, Joss Whedon has been pegged to write, produce, and direct a Batgirl movie.
Okay.
Well, you bitched about it, so I gotta.
Alright, so yeah, Joss Whedon writing, producing, and directing a Batgirl movie. Who's gonna die, David? Who's gonna die? Who's gonna die, David? Who's gonna die?
Jim Gordon.
What? Bullshit.
I'm gonna call. Yeah, I'm gonna say he's gonna kill off the father. Yeah.
I mean, that's
because Joss Whedon has to kill off somebody, right?
There's a lot more people he could kill off than Batgirl's dad.
Yeah, I guess that is a little on the nose. Who do you think he would kill off? I like how this is our first point of contention.
I don't know, like, kill off Dick, I don't know.
Dick? Don't kill off Dick. We love Dick.
I'm going to keep that sound bite for a long time.
Please do. So, anyway, Joss Whedon is, he's doing all of it with this Batgirl movie, and I think that's a pretty solid move.
Besides acting in it.
Well, besides acting, Joss Whedon as Batgirl.
Well, I mean, Ben Affleck. Wasn't he, like, directing and acting and doing other shit for Batman?
Oh. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess Joss Whedon could play... Well, they already have a Jim Gordon.
Yeah.
I don't know. But anyways.
Do we know if this will be part of the current, like, DC universe?
Yes.
Movie universe?
Yes.
It will be. It'll be canon with all that?
It looks like it. It's... Yeah. And it's part of their... DC is doing this... They're going all in on their female characters. They announced this. They're also doing Birds of Prey.
Fuck yeah, Birds of Prey.
Harley. Yeah.
So excited.
And I think it's a really, really good idea on their part. But I think they also need to be careful that they put out characters that people will still care about.
Yeah.
And they need to be careful that they don't rush it and fuck up characters because they're trying to get more female heroes out before Marvel does.
They really don't need to worry about that.
Mindset.
Because, they were like, we're going to do Wonder Woman. And Marvel went, well, we're going to do Captain Marvel. And they're like, we're getting Wonder Woman ready. And they're like, we haven't even, really looked at what our director is going to do yet.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Is they already have Wonder Woman well before Marvel even has. We haven't seen anything of Captain Marvel yet.
We've gotten apparently one Easter egg in Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
And everyone.
Wait, there was an Easter egg in Doctor Strange?
Of course, there was an Easter egg in Doctor Strange. There was probably multiple ones.
Well, yeah, but there was one for Captain Marvel.
That's what I heard. I don't know if it is or not. I haven't looked looked it up. I had heard something about that, and I was like,
don't
okay.
Do that to me, Mark.
And people,
God damn it.
A friend of mine who was all like, "Oh my god, Captain Marvel's gonna be so good." I'm like, "How do you know?" Oh, they teased it a little bit. They did an Easter egg, Doctor Strange. I'm like, "How do you know that's gonna be good?" They have a director for it, and that's it. They don't have anything written yet.
Okay.
We don't even know if they might drop it.
Yeah. Where was I going?
I have no idea where you were
going
with this, bud.
So, according to this story in Variety, who announced this, it will include other characters from the world of Gotham. So probably Batman will make a cameo. They might introduce characters in this.
Might be a good idea.
Like Ivy.
Oh yeah, that'd be a good idea. And
Ivy and this version of Catwoman.
That might be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, but I wanted to say I think it's a really solid idea to have Joss do this because I mean, look at Buffy. He can clearly do a young, superheroine, and do it well. I just hope he doesn't have too many conflicts with them trying to make him do it all grimdark.
Right. Yeah.
Because even in his darkest in Buffy, I mean, he still has humor in there. Yeah. He's not Zack Snyder. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, move on to the next thing on the list here, which is My Little Pony. My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, I should say, is getting a big screen theatrical release. There's a teaser trailer for this that we will include a link to in the show notes. What?
I'm not excited for this.
No?
No, I've always argued that a full screen movie would be a bad idea. I would just be really uncomfortable taking my kid to a kids movie where there are literally adults that fetishize this fucking shit at that same movie.
Yeah, I see where you're going with that. Yeah, but I mean, on the same token, that's not their. That's not really their fault. I think it's a good idea for them to. Really?
All the actresses and shit do. Voice actors fucking love bronies, bro. They fucking pander to them every chance they get, it seems like. There's a million different fucking things. Yes. Tara Strong going, brownies! I
don't know, man. I mean, it seems to be a leap for me to go from being a brony, even a brony who takes it to the extreme to sexualize it, to pedophile.
I'm not necessarily calling them pedophiles.
And I get where you're coming from, man. But
I don't need guys with fucking erections near my kid watching the same fucking movie.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But
I mean, at the very least, I'm excited for this because I feel like it deserves a big budget production, whether you see it in the theater or not, whatever. But I think it's going to be good, and it's got a lot of big stars are on board with this. Emily Blunt, Zoe Saldana, Liev Schreiber, Sia, who does the Chandelier song. She does a voice, and she's also doing a song for it. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's a good idea. My opinion. But I guess we don't all feel that way, man.
Maybe they should have waited till they were 20 years like The Simpsons did and did it right.
Yeah, but that would mean that it would have to either be then a reboot because it's been gone for a while, or it's been going on for 20 years and they've dragged it into the ground like The Simpsons.
Exactly. Because The Simpsons did it right.
God damn it. Let's just move on to the next thing. God damn it. So, a Marvel VP of sales, he had an interesting quote. He came out and said that diversity was to blame for their slump in comic sales. This guy, David Gabriel. And I don't want to shit on the guy or anything, but he said a very candid thing that being in his position, he probably should have known people were going to take the wrong way. And he said what we heard was that people didn't want any more diversity. They didn't want female characters out there. That's what we heard, whether we believe that or not. And
so was this quote taken out of context then?
I mean,
technically, like they were just like,
oh,
we're just going to take what sounds the worst out of this and blow it up. That's what it sounds like.
Well, a little bit, because it's not. He does say, I don't know if that's really true, but that's what we saw in sales. And he said that people, any new character that was diverse, female, or anything like that would have a slump in sales. And so he basically does say, yeah, that diversity is to blame for their slow sales. And I don't know if that's necessarily true. I think he's right in the wrong way. People, I feel, got tired of, or are tired of them just taking an established character and slapping a new face on it and being like, oh, look, we're so diverse. It's fine to be diverse, and they have plenty of diverse characters already. They have Luke Cage, they have Nika Minoru, they have Hulkling, they have all these characters that are diverse. They should encourage those characters, stand those characters up instead of taking characters like Hulk and Thor and Iron Man and just putting a new face on it. And
yeah,
to me that feels like pandering, and I think people are getting tired of it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And there's nothing wrong with creating a new character. Like, they created a new character that became Iron Man. Why couldn't they create this character that stands on her own? And I don't know, I think he's also saying that when they did that, those sales weren't as what they expected. But maybe it's a problem with your talent. Maybe you're not getting the right writers for it.
Yeah.
But he's getting a lot of flack for this because, like I said, it's a very candid thing for him to say.
Right.
And I think they're taking the information the wrong way. That's just me.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. So, was there anything else you wanted to talk about, man, or is that?
No, I think that's
it for this episode?
Nice and neat, tight packaged episode.
Yeah. Yes. Nice and orderly. Because I'm an awesome producer of this show. All right, so let's end this show like we do every show with a quote. Everyone knows diversity is good. We want black superheroes. We want female superheroes. We want Latino superheroes. That makes things better. And they don't have to be sidekicks or buddies. They can be rock stars themselves. Reginald Hudlin.
But what if they want to be a country
This has
star?
been Geek Banter. Well, they could be a country star too. It's the land of the free. Because of the brave. This has been Geek Banter, a production of the Bizarre Network. Until next time, read SFC, brother. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.